I'm here for murder, kidnapping, robbery, armed robbery, conspiracy. When we got such eyes, who do you think we get? And don't tell me each other.
See, because I don't like nothing in the first place, and I don't like you.
You got your best shot, man. One punch. Punch me in my face. Then it's my turn. Now punch.
Man, get that fucking camera out my face. I told you to cut it off.
I am sure we all have watched Beyond Scared Straight before. Well, apparently there were a few visits that they kept a secret after some of the stunts were taken way too far. You see, back in the 70s, there was a 14-year-old who was R-worded by 5 prisoners after a guard had led him to a private cell during a judge-ordered visit for his probation. Good day, my beautiful people. I know it's been a long time, but I am the mysterious Black Bandit. And before we get to this video, y'all already know what to do. Go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss out on any of these videos when I upload. Once you have done that, let's get into this thing. Now, youth visits to the penitentiary became very popular back in 1978 after the documentary Scared Straight, and it remained a feature of youth justice, especially in Canada, for decades, which brings us to this event. Now, back in the 70s, a judge recommended a Scared Straight visit for this person who was known as B.E.S. at this prison called Burnaby or Burnaby, whichever one it is, but after a break and entering conviction. This prison was well known for its overpopulation and housing some of the worst criminals who was awaiting trial. Well, B.E.S. was brought to a prison by a probation officer, and once he arrived, he handed him over to the prison guard. As they walked through this facility, they ended up in the corner of a prison with this other guard. In front of them was this cell filled with 5 prisoners, and as soon as they walked close to the door, the guard shoved this person into the cell and locked the door. Now, I won't be able to go into full detail about what happened, but this is what the B.E.S. person said happened to him. He stated, once the doors were shut, the prisoners immediately grabbed him and tried to force his head into the of a prisoner that was lying down. He continued and said that he tried to fight back and keep his mouth closed, but this is when the prisoners pulled his pants down. As he fought for his manhood, he said he felt an extreme pain as they began to pull on his hair while 3 prisoners took turn, doing what they do. Dang. While he was in this cell screaming and pleading for his life, the guard that shoved him in this cell stood outside the door laughing. Now, once everything was finished, the guard opened up the door, then took him to a segregated cell where he stayed for several hours. As he laid there, scared out of his freaking mind, the guard finally came back, grabbed him off the floor and pushed him against the wall, then told him, this is what happens to little efforts like you, and nobody's going to believe you if you say anything, and then sent him on his way as if nothing happened. After this prison visit, B.E.S. went home and immediately noticed that blood was everywhere, and for weeks he continued to bleed from that area. Although this event happened over 40 years ago, the impact it had on his life was substantially bad. His relationship with his parents became strained, he developed a drug addiction, and also attempted to take his life several times. With all the pain and suffering this guy went through, he finally decided that it's time to put this Scared Straight show on blast. So during the trial, a psychiatrist testified on B.E.S. behalf and confirmed that he suffered from several mental illnesses, including PTSD, severe depression, anxiety, and suicidal ideation. He stated this incident at the prison was either directly related to B.E.S. condition or caused him to be significantly more intense and frequent. Now, when the judge asked him, why is he just now bringing this up 40 years later, he responded and said he was too embarrassed to let his parents or anyone know about this. Fortunately, the judge ruled that B.E.S. was credible and pointed out that he knew several details about the prison and the outfits. Now, a significant portion of the case attempted to figure out the identity of the officer who pushed B.E.S. into the cell where all this stuff went down. Eventually, the judge ruled that this guard was guilty, but since the guard was unknown and the prison had been shut down since 1991, the state decided to pay for damages and rewarded this man $150,000 and also gave him an additional $25,000 for future care. Now, although Beyond Scared Straight received hundreds of thousands of views from the public and critics decades after the show had been aired, they soon realized that this program wasn't effective as they thought, and in fact, analysts showed that it may have actually increased the reoffending rate in the youth. With programs like these, the kids that are taken to these prisons to try to scare them straight aren't really thinking about their future at their time. Now, I spent several years teaching children with behavior problems and all sorts of problems. So let me give y'all parents out there just a little tip. I learned that the reason most of these kids act the way they do is because they don't know how to express themselves. Although I am a firm believer in discipline, if you are having behavior problems with your child, you should be teaching them things like executive skills, how to process language, even show them how to regulate their emotions and work on those social skills. Now, before I go, one of the most important things I did when I was teaching was to make sure I wasn't only giving attention to them when they did something bad. I made sure I paid attention to them and gave them praise and even rewarded them when they did something good. All right, family, I really hope that this information can help you if you're having this problem. But this will be it for now. If you guys enjoy content like this, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss out on any of these videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, stay mysterious, my friend.